My Life Between Lives story from Newton Train Institute practitioners.
I see a whole change in the thrust of searching for answers about who we are and why we're here. And I think it's wonderful, and I just hope the movement continues to expand.
Let us expand the universal consciousness together with a My Life Between Lives story presented by the Michael Newton Institute.
Welcome to My LBL Story. My name is Ekomananda. Today my special guest is Billy.B.Hunter. Billy has dedicated himself as a full-time Michael Newton Institute Life Between Lives therapist since 2013. In addition, he also specializes in Shankar-Vasya Ayurveda for post-diagnosis, Mama Point therapy, and SVA liver therapy. With an impressive track record of over 4,500 hours of practices and having to assisted over 1,500 clients, Billy.B.Hunter has a rich experiences in empowering individuals to uncover their true identity by tapping into their soul memories. Billy has been serving the Michael Newton Institute as a mentor coordinator, guiding the newly trained LBL practitioners. More recently, as a certification coordinator, Billy has been a frequent contributor to the stories of afterlife under the MY LBL Facebook page. A big warm welcome to Billy. So
Well,
how
I like
did
your
you?
Lotus behind you.
My Lotus, yes. So I purchased this one from can't remember which. I mean, the stock something,
Yeah.
stock images.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of this editing work and editing, designing all my websites is done by myself, all my social media work. And so these days I slow down a lot. Purely just enjoy what's happening in my life. I'm not concerned about anything at all. So I'm really in a different space, I'd say. It's pure blessing.
Well, you look marvelous. You look really, really vibrant. And I like your hair. I think you got hair and I lost mine.
That's cool. I shaved in
I know.
December 2020. Interestingly, I always wanted to shave my hair. I thought that was like a young girl, wanted to be wild, wanted to be different, wanted to be rebellious. And it turned out through past life regression session, like I was a monk. I thought, oh, that's why I wanted to shave my hair.
It's something that you feel familiar with. It brings up an interesting subject of soul perspective that I've been thinking about a lot today. Something that's come up a lot lately is, my age is 71, which is a number, but if I look at the people that I know, that I consider close friends, acquaintances, family in this age frame, and see how things are going for them. So a number of people that I know have passed on lately, and I've been somewhat of a death doula lately. So what does that mean? So a friend of ours passed away last week at the age of 70, I believe. The day before she passed away, I went in to see her because her partner had called to say that she was passing or transitioning. That's what he said. And so I went in to see her, and when I saw her, she was somewhat unorganized, just not coherent. But at the same time, she saw me, and she was very keen on connecting with me. And when I saw her, I just realized it was going to be going. Let me back up a little bit. Part of what I have done in terms of my training is work with pulse diagnosis. It's similar in Chinese, but my lineage of working with it is through Shankavansha Ayurveda, or SBA, or Ayurveda in general, which tells a lot about what's going on with different parts of the body and also the connection of spirit in the body. And to take her pulse, which I did, it was just very fascinating because there's three particular areas that we're looking at, which many areas, 3 times 9 basically, but 3 primary areas. And each one of those was so weak. It was an interesting pulse diagnosis. And I said to her, just don't be afraid. It's okay. Whatever happens, you're going to be fine. You're going to do well. And I could see just a little more peace kind of come across her face. And that was like, say, the day before she passed, and the next day she did pass. And her partner was so thankful to me because and the woman who passed away, who's a friend of ours, was a friend of ours, she was just tossing and turning, even in these transitioning death throes. And just to tell her that it was going to be okay, that she'll be fine, it was a real, soothing thing for her, and it let her and allowed her just to move ahead. And her partner was so thankful. And so this is not the first time I've done this. It's not like I'm trying to do it. I'm not trying to seek it out, but it seems to be fine. And it's a fascinating time because many people are transitioning, older people especially. But in this time when there is so much strife, so much difficulty, the bombardment from EMFs and crazy environment, escaping, drugs, everything like that. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, I just don't want to be here," and they want to check out. And it's an awkward time. It's an amazing time, and difficult. But there's beauty too, especially when you see someone who does transition, and in their transition, you see that they go to light, they go to peace, and well, they don't have much to be afraid. And it's a sweet thing to be able to help people arrive. So this has been on my mind a lot lately because there's other people I'm also in touch with who are in the transitioning kind of. And like I said, I'm not really trying to seek it out. It's just not something I particularly want to do, but I find that I can do it. Something that can be real helpful. And it's the difference between soul perspective, soul looking into the existence, and then the human perspective, which is like, what's going to happen? Where am I going to go? How is it going to be? And as you know, Ekomananda, that from doing life between lives sessions for clients, and they go through the death scene in those sessions, from past life and going into spirit, they realize, hey, it's okay. That even though the body dies, we don't, and we stay clear and awake. And to remember that, to re-feel that, is it's a gift to be able to help them have that.
Did you sense that that friend was about to pass?
About her past?
Yes. Before her passing, did you know that she's about to pass?
No. She was in a place where she was not coherent at this time. Now, interestingly enough, we did a life between lives I did a life between lives session with her, a past life and a life between lives session with her. I should have looked it up before coming on with you today. But she had that experience with me, and I think that helped. But at the moment when I saw her, a week ago today or tomorrow, she was not in a place where she could tap into that or remember into that. It was for her, and like many of the clients I do have, going through the process of remembering a past life, going through the highlights, the events, those they were in contact with, and coming to the end of the life, because all lives do end. And then still be awake and aware after the life is passed, after the body's passed. People are just amazed by that experience. They show it and they say, "Wow, I can't believe," or don't say can't believe. They feel it, so they believe it. But they're astounded by it. That there's a continuum, that there isn't. It's all done, and it's just you go into a void. And there's nothing else. But there is a new dimension, or a return to the dimension that they know. Which brings up another thing, which most of us are fighting, not fighting, wrong word, struggling to understand. No, where is spirit? I mean, which direction do we go? Do we go to the end of the universe? What? Where is? I think what I'm finding more and more is that it really is. It's everywhere. It's just in a dimension that we're not familiar with. It's much like the spectrum of light or sound. We only hear a little narrow part of it, see a little part of it, but there's so much on the outside, other dimensions. And that is where I think the key is about spirit. God is everywhere, spirit is everywhere. What does that mean? Oh, it's just we can't fathom beyond a certain frame or a certain boundary of dimensionality. But spirit's there. And we feel it. We know it. Those inklings when things come through us, we nod our head, yeah, that's that.
The story you shared, your dear friend who was not able to tapping into that spiritual energy, what was the emotion behind it?
For her, that
Yes.
that she felt?
Because I think that story can be an example to many people who are going through this transitioning, whether they're facing death or facing life difficulties.
Yes.
There's certain emotions, certain stories underlying that experience.
Well, that which I observed in her, my friend, was panic and fear, the unknown. And that panic, it makes us thrash. It makes us, what's going to happen? Where am I going to go? Where's this going? What's going to happen to me? When we can come in and say, just release to it, no, not release to it. That just sounds kind of superficial. To say to them to not be afraid. It's okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to still be. You're just not going to be here. You won't be in the body. But you will be. And you'll be awake and you'll be aware. How do you know? How do you know that? That's what everybody keeps telling me during that transition in the life between life session, going from past life and that life ends. And there they are. But, oh my gosh, oh, my body's down there, and it just got sat on by an elephant or something. And they realize that they're still awake, aware, clear. It's fun to see that experience. I really, when I do sessions for people and have them go through a past life, going through from a past life going to LBL, just to spend a good amount of time, amount of the session right there at the death scene, because it really helps them transition from being in the body to being in their immortal self, their soul self. And once they do that, they realize, hey, yeah, there is a continuum. It is infinite. It's a dimension we can't quite fathom, because most people think it's eternal, it's immortal. That's a long time. And there we blew it. As soon as you think that's a long time, dimensionality been lost of what it is in terms of the eternal immortals.
What would you say an LBL session can serve in releasing that fear or become familiar with other dimensions?
So when we help someone to go from a past life through the death scene, and then the traveling to going home after some review, some period where we just examine the life that was lived, and they go home and they realize by being home that this is not them as Billy. I'm not Billy anymore. Billy was what once was, but now I am more than Billy. I'm the accumulation of all those lifetimes. Oh my gosh, 1,186 times. Those are the experiences, the chapters in the eternal immortal soul of existence. People have this clear, this clear feeling. It's not a concept. It's not a analytical perspective at all, I find. It's a feeling. It's a visceral, physical feeling that, oh yes, spirit, I'm part of spirit. Spirit's part of me. It's all one unified field. And as one unified field, you feel that magnanimous love, appreciation, judgment. And you realize there's something so much more than that life that is being lived, was lived, or is lived. And that contrast is going past the dimensionality that we have in human existence. We know it, even though we don't know it. We don't know it. This is the thing. It's not on the level of analysis at all. It's not on the level of any mental construct, but there's a mental appreciation for it. But there's a strong, visceral experience. You feel it down deep. And that feeling down deep is what blows people away. Not blows, I don't know. Words are so kind of funny. English is terrible with many different things you can say. Like, for example, you're awfully nice. Awful? Nice? What does that mean? But coming back to this, there's a clear feeling, very strong feeling. The clarity of the feeling is just that you feel it. It's not that you know it. You feel it. And and you've noticed this in Ekomananda, that people talk about the experience for days, weeks, months after their experience with you. They come back and say, that was so transformative for me. I gained so much clarity about everything. And that's a marvelous experience. That's a great gift to receive. It's my feeling, my belief that when we talk about enlightenment is just the experience of all the levels of all that we are. Physical is just one very small component of it, but it's an important part, because without it, we don't feel, we don't experience, we don't know, we don't learn. But enlightenment really is knowing where you come from, all the lives lived, all of those things that have shaped you. And then there you are, this life, and you have a clear feeling of where the path ahead is going. Like I said at the beginning, it's like what's falling into my lap lately is this opportunity to work with people who are elder or people in terminal, terminal place that they're dying, and just bringing that solace that it's going to be okay, it's going to be fine. You're going to remain happy. You're going to remain whole. You're not going to lose anything. Go ahead.
Yes, that sentence, what you just said to your friend, it's going to be okay. It's a very prominent sentence and a very common downloading from the spirits, from guide.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody needs to hear it from time to time.
Yeah.
Even for
I
us.
think so. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We need to be reminded, oh yeah, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Trust what comes, and everything's going to be okay. It's a wonderful thing that we can bring this experience to people. We can help people have this experience. They're just so longing for it. People are wanting to know, what can I depend on? What is real? Where am I? Where's this going? What should I be doing? Something fun lately is also that there's a new Life Between Lives training group that I'm helping some of the trainees, helping just coach them about things. And one of the trainees is very very concerned that at this age that I'm at, that is this something real? I mean, people are younger than me and they should be doing this, but here I am, and I'm excited by this. I want to do it. And they think they're in their mid-70s, and maybe it's just too late for me to do this, or what can I accomplish? Mid-70s and all that. Yet she has had experiences with how it's transformed her client, and she's got this spark, like, wow, I can be of great value. I can help others have experience of all that they are. It gives people hope. This thing that she's told me, it's great to have this experience that you have an immense kind of contribution that you can give to others. It's fun to see that in someone who's opening up to the possibilities of what's possible for them, their life, how it can unfold, where it can go, and that they can be incredibly useful, incredibly helpful stuff.
Everyone plays an important role in helping each other, understanding what we're here for. I wanted to go back and look into this clear feeling, and I like how you describe it. You make it sound simple, easy, a joyful path.
Mm.
No matter what transition you're going through, whether we're going through, facing the most important step, transitioning, which is passing and death. People talk about it. They have significant fear, and I myself experienced that fear for over 2 years in my mid-30s. Every moment I thought about the death, my whole body went shiver, frozen, and I just couldn't function. And I began to question myself, why am I here? Why this thinking is in this body? Why am I not a Maya? Why am I not a British? Why am I not German? So this thought, this bothered me, troubled me for over about 2 years of time. And now everything is clear, just like what you said, the clear feeling. Now with your expert knowledge in transitioning life between life therapy, past life regression, etc., how would you describe the relationship of this life to the spiritual life?
When we've seen people who are like, let's say, masters in spirituality, a yogic master, for example, a guru, a famous teacher, a sensei, all these different kind of titles for those who have experience and seem to have a good handle on enlightenment, but they're in the body. As you are in the body, you feel the bumps and bruises. You just stub your toe. Ow! You feel it. You feel the congestion because your lungs are because you have a cold. You feel the pains of overarching or overworking yourself. You feel the physical discomforts. You feel the feeling tired. You feel elated. You feel all these values. These are the human condition. These are the accumulation of everything human in terms of the physical reality that we are in. In a way, it is why people turn towards drugs, because drugs kind of put the big damper. Alcohol does it, drugs do it. It puts that damper. What's that? A calmness in there, but it's artificial, and it also robs you of an awake intelligence, awake awareness. It's artificial. It's synthetic. Let's put it that way too. It's better to have your awareness with you, because then having a full awake awareness and experiencing, okay, we experience the bumps and bruises, sure. But we also experience all the continuum of everything. So when we go into a session helping people to experience where they come from, past lives, and we help them experience themselves as having gone through a past life, that life ended, and after the life has ended, the experience that they're not just going to sit waiting for a bus to come along. They're going to feel this magnetic pull as the unembodied spirit, soul, and it's going home to connect with other souls, other lives that have been near and dear to them since forever. So there's this big contrast between the pinpoint of a physical life and the unbounded, the magnanimous quality of being an eternally immortal soul, which is what life between lives allows us to remember. It's not that you have to forget it, but I think Michael Newton did it so well by saying that it was the creator's higher being that put us into an amnesic state in order to yearn for more and to find out more and to experience in order to gain knowledge, gain awareness, gain experience. Many of us say, but I don't want any more amnesia. I want to know it all. And that's also underscores, I think what's happening in this world is that there are so many ways to turn, so many possible avenues of exploration. And some are quite valuable. Some are amazingly valuable. And some are somewhat, short-lived or not full, not complete, like partial knowledge. Discerning what's a good way to go, what path to take, what experience to take on in order to know more, to know yourself. It takes some discernment. Now, backing up, you're asking about, the things that people are experiencing in terms of, what is this life for? What am I, what should I be doing? It's confusing, and I'm confused, and I don't know what to do. That's a challenge. It's a good challenge, a great challenge. It's not very comfortable, but it's a challenge that brings to us the opportunity for growth. And it's only when we're in a period of like, what's going to happen? Where are we going to go? What should I be doing? That the answers tend to come. Answers, they do come. It's like the friend I was talking about passed away last week. She was in this state of confusion. What's going to happen to me? Where am I going to be in just a little bit? And what she needed to hear was to not be afraid, to not worry, that everything's going to be okay. You're going to be yourself. There's no question. Just go for it. Move in the direction that you are observing you're going. And at the time, I told my friend that when she was dying, that you have a choice. You can go this way or this way. You can go multiple ways, but you could either stay here or you can go. It was kind of obvious that she wasn't going to be able to make it. But that was not my decision, obviously. It would have been heard if she wanted to have said, okay, I'm going to come back. I'm going to stay. There's a wonderful near-death experience by Anita Morsamjani, Dying to Be Me. And she's really on death's door with stage 4 cancer. And the organs are shutting down, everything's shutting down. And she has a near-death experience. She goes home, she meets her father, who passed away earlier, plus also, I think, a child. I forget that part. But in talking to her father in this near-death experience, her father says to her, your time's not done. You need to go back. Your time will come at some point, but it's not now. It's not. Many people who have near-death experiences and bump into that say, no, wait. I really want to come home. I don't want to go back. And it's like, oh no. But she did come back. And here she is. I mean, stage 4, organs are shutting down, but she comes back, and this is in Australia, where Anita Morsamjani had this experience. She comes back. Doctors are totally baffled that she's on the mend, and she comes back, and she came back, wrote the book, Dying to Be Me, has done numbers of tours speaking to. So my friend, who died last week, she could have done the same thing, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't her time. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't needed for her to come back. Her job was done. And so I told her that, you have a choice. You can stay, you can go. Either way, it'll be just fine. But to go home as soul is what each of us will do in this life. To go home, recalibrate, see what we need to do next. Maybe incarnation. Maybe there's another dimension where we're needed, where we can work, or we can apply ourselves, help others, work with others, serve, whatever needs to be done, learn, grow. The big cosmic play. We're all in it together.
The big cosmic play. And this one key thing is to discern. I love this word, discernment. And when we are in the body, we can be absorbed by the physical stories, the conditions that we are in.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from this continuity, a life between life session can bring us. What else can a session like this facilitate? Can it bring to people's life?
There's everything in between, a current life, past life, life between lives, which unites it all. What many of us who are life between lives facilitators are experiencing a lot lately is that some really big and powerful experiences are coming through for our clients without us having to do the long-winded inductions and taking them through all sorts of different parts of this life and the womb, going back to past life. Lately, there's been an interesting experience of just people going spontaneously into spirit. One woman I worked with a few weeks ago, longer than that, but just recently, let's put it that way. Our standard model that we work with is to take people after induction to some childhood memories, some happy childhood, some sweet ones, good ones, peaceful or energetic, but happy, avoiding not needing to work with anything that's unpleasant or traumatic, anything that's difficult. But on the we went right into the first childhood memory, and it was really sweet for her. But it took her immediately to spirit, which, instead of spending an hour to get them to spirit, an hour and a half, perhaps. Here in the first 20 minutes, we go to spirit. Cool, let's go. Do it. There's been a hybridizing or a hybrid kind of a process of working with helping people going into spirit or going into soul life, let's say soul being. That said, there's something else that's kind of interesting, and that is, and you brought this word up, discernment. Clients tend to go directly to some experience, maybe this life, maybe a past life, that helps them discern, this is why that's happening in my life. This is why there's a problem. Same client that I talked about went from second childhood memory right to spirit. That was her first session. Okay, it was great. It came to me about, it wasn't, so a few weeks ago is when I saw her for a second time. She and her husband were going to go off on a trip together. And she was scared to death about being on an airplane and being in the tight little lavatories, the washrooms that they got. She's kind of claustrophobic and a fear of closed-in spaces. I said, well, let's just get to the bottom of it. No problem. Easy to do. And what we did was, I asked her to go to an experience where the claustrophobia feels like it came out of, where that fear of being in enclosed spaces comes. And she had an experience of a past life in Scotland. You know, there's something about it that was coming up when she was talking and bringing up these details. And it just didn't feel like it was quite it. But, you know, we went into it and the experiences, and there was some restrictions and all that. But it didn't feel to me as a really originating experience. But I think it had an element of being part of the fear of closed-in spaces. We went from that Scottish life to home. And at home, we connected with some wise ones, some elders. And we asked the elders, I said to my client, I said, ask them if they feel that there is some value here, some experience that you've had that really kind of has brought on this feeling of being afraid of closed up spaces or tight spaces. And they said to her, you know, what about the womb? And she went, oh, the womb. Oh. And in this life, she had some, well, her mother, while my client was in the womb as a fetus, the mother had some very difficult experiences there. And my client experienced them with her mom and felt, oh my God, I need to get out of here. I need to get out. I can't be here. Shouldn't be. This is not a place for me. And she came premature in this life. And it hadn't dawned on her, my client, that this was something that had come up in that during the fetal period, the in utero experience. We took that from there, and we came back up after a while and talked about it in a debrief after the session. It was interesting to see what happened. So for her, as she went off on her vacation with her husband, she had a great time on the airplane. She tested herself not only in the airplane but also in the bathroom, and she, gosh, no problem. You know, it's easy. And you know, it's a wonderful success story. But and a lot of people come to hypnotherapists for that, you know, getting over some phobia or something like that. So discernment is this. It's really this value of awake awareness, not inhibited by the what's going on around you. For example, my partner, my wife, just came in, and I said, "Oh, well, you know," but it was not a problem. But mental mind is wanting to take stock of anything and everything, and we discern a lot, but we discern so much more when awareness is awake unfettered by what's going on in the environment. We know that we're in a space that is comfortable, peaceful, secure, safe, which is what we do help our clients get into that space. There's just not a sense of have to worry about anything outside. That's all. So when awareness is that awake and clear, this is why these memories come up. They come up and we experience the memories as a now feeling, not like, oh, I once was. No, here I am. Yes, in the womb. And oh, my mom is really having a hard time. This is difficult for her. I need to get out of here. This is not for me. So I'm going to come soon. I'm going to come early. And so my client did come. And that ability of this wide awake awareness, this clear awareness, experiencing, yeah, there's a problem when I was in a confined space. But seeing that it was something that she could control it by becoming early, by being born early. The great thing here is that she was able to discern this. And this is where we tell our clients that what happens in life between life session, past life regression, or even just transpersonal hypnotherapy, things to do with this life. We examine with our wide awake awareness what's going on, the experience, remembering and being within the memory, and I'm now feeling, here I am, right in the womb. Oh yeah, mom's having a hard time. I don't want to. With a wide awake awareness, being aware of that, seeing that, feeling, it sorts it out automatically as to, oh, I have to be concerned about this, or I don't have to be concerned about that. It's a settling out of all these difficult things that we don't have. We've held on to things or not held on to things. And when awareness is so awake, so broad, so unbounded, it sorts it out automatically. Oh, I don't need to keep that. Or yeah, I can keep that. Don't need that. Don't think. Happens. You know what to think of. Don't. It just happens. It's and this happens every time clients have this incredible discernment that occurs with wide awake awareness. And when that happens, it's so cool. I mean, it's great, and an incredibly wonderful thing to witness, to watch, to be part of, and to help guide, which does come to this whole point of who we are. And I tell people all the time, you know, as this facilitator, I'm not the one directing the show. I'm not the one telling you what's coming up. I'm not me. I'm simply your GPS, just pointing out the direction of what's happening, where we're going on. As GPS, you know, it's, you know, you're the one driving the car. You're the one driving or moving ahead in a direction. And GPS is telling you, okay, at the next turn, let's take a right. And 300 meters, let's take a right. And yet, what do? Thanks, GPS. But you know what? I think I'll go straight for a little bit more. And GPS never goes, well, no, right. Now, what are you going to do? GPS says, okay, recalculate your route. And this is what we do. We kind of lay out a direction for awareness to go. And the client can go there or not go there. A lot of times when we bring up things, it's like, oh, I didn't think of that. I didn't know that. Wow, that's interesting. And then they go there. But there's a lot of times, you know, clients say they don't. They hey, I'm going to actually go back to where I was because that was kind of interesting. And where you're talking about is not of interest to me right now. And I have clients too that say, listen, you know, Billy, thank you. Wonderful. I'm enjoying this, but right now, I'm just going to be quiet. I'll be back to you in a minute. I'm not going to talk. It's okay. When you're ready, just tell me you're ready. Okay. All right. What's that?
I can see so much joy showing in you in the work that we do. Total awareness and then total blessing when we come serve as a GPS, you know, guiding people. And don't we all need a GPS
Yeah, that makes it so much easier.
that brings discernment, awareness, understanding of why things happen the way it is.
Yeah.
And so that we can know where we're going, rather than like,
Yeah.
no mapping, no clear direction. We get lost.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to lose the
Yeah.
self.
Yeah, you're stuck in the forest and you can't quite sense where you are. You know that it's okay. You know that things are good overall or not, but you don't have the big picture. That's what I call my first session to people. I tell people, what we're going to do is we're going to do a session I call the big picture. What do you mean by that? Well, it'd be nice to know where you came from, lives once lived. We won't do all the lives once lived because if you have 1,186, we don't have enough time to do all those lives. But let's go to a significant, impactful past life. Let's also experience what it was like to come into this life. From the time of being in spirit, coming into the womb, into your mother's womb, sometime after conception, but not yet born. Feel into what it was why you chose this life. It was a very careful selection on your choice. It wasn't like, oh, shucks, look what I get. No, no. Everybody had 3, 4, 5 other choices, but no, Apple, that's mine. That's what I want. That's for me. Chinese, living in Australia, other places, it's like, why?
Interesting. I mean, deep down, I know that I sort of chose this lab. I have not got to the process in how I chose this life, but I sort of knew that I've chosen everything. And undoubtedly, because the trust we have in everything that is happening around us is the foundation in just be.
Yeah.
Just be.
The big picture is all about that. The more we understand, because we remember why we chose this life, where we've come from, and the whole purpose of when we chose this, it was about this gave us the best opportunity to do what we needed next, whether it was to learn something, to experience something, or just to come and serve, just to be here and help others, or perhaps to not do anything at all, have a by life. The by meaning BYE is like it's a time off for good behavior. A lot of times spirit gets a little, okay, are you done? You've had a little bit of by life. Are you ready to get down and back to work? Okay.
Yes, each experience, each choice that we make in this journey, on this path, it is a valid experience. Sometimes we take a break, other times we strike, we do more, we wanted to conquer, we wanted to achieve, we wanted to have great understanding, or just go to sadness. How about that? This time we're gonna just experience some sadness because I've never experienced that before.
What a choice. But I understood. And this is the whole thing we said at the very beginning, that there is human perspective, that there is soul perspective. Human perspective, having a sad life. Oh, gosh. And everybody around you thinking, oh, how sad. And you're thinking, oh, it's so sad. And it's the real thing. It's not make-believe. It's sad. But from soul, it's like, oh, yes. Oh, this is the thing that helps people understand in a visceral way what their life that they've chosen, the one that they're in right now, why they chose it. What's their mission here? It could be as simple as just the personal experience of sadness, like you're bringing up. It could be that they're here to do something way, way, way important.
I know, because we all wanted to know our purpose. Back to the choice of sadness. It sounds bizarre to even understand why do I choose to experience sadness, grief, losses. Guess what?
It's I've had clients who had a past life in the Holocaust during World War II who died, horrible deaths. It's a terrible situation. And, it's such a sad thing to observe that as they're going through it. And it is in no way to excuse it. No way to say, that doesn't matter. It does. It's very viscerally unhappy and inhuman kind of a thing. But the clients that have, it's been a couple of clients of mine over the years that have done this, where they've had that experience, but then they, after the death of the body, and they go home, and they're home, and they realize, oh, I understand. I'm so glad I had that experience. This is just what I need. That was just what I need. And you're sitting on I had a facilitator, you're sitting over there saying, okay. And I understand it, because again, human perspective on the events of a life and the soul perspective of events of a life. Just amazingly kind of at contrast. It reminds me of a client who was a wise elder in a tribe in the Middle East, but this is way back. Was somewhat pushed, coerced as a wise elder to let the young men go off and fight a battle, which ended disastrously, terribly. They all the young men had died in that battle, and then all the women and children were enslaved by the visiting tribe or by the conquering tribe, and the elder was put to death. At this point, and I remember in that session, my client was just crying, because there was all the sadness, and she felt that she had failed her tribe, failed what she should have done as an elder, as a wise. And she went home and she met with those who were in the tribe, and they all came to her and thanked her profusely. Thanked that soul very, very much, because that was what they had signed up for. That was what they really, really wanted, what they needed. And they were so ecstatic that he at the time in that life, allowed that to happen for the tribe, allowed for them to have that experience of going through that terrible experience. For them, it wasn't terrible, it was perfect. And so when a client comes out of that session, I remember her just going, I can't believe that. I mean, she could believe it for sure, but it's like she saw the big difference between the wise elder in a tribe and, oh, the terrible thing that happened, and the soul thing, it's the right thing.
It is
And that's,
equivalently awakening for us as the facilitator as well.
yes. That's the thing that's kind of the great part of this work, is that we benefit so much from the experience. All this accumulation of all these clients that we work with, each having their own unique and wonderful experience. We're right there with them, right along for the ride. And we gain a lot. It's a marvelous exchange. The great thing is that as we do it more and more, I mean, have practice more and more, have sessions, have clients more and more, it builds and builds and builds.
Yes, we're fortunate
the quicker
this
thing.
job. You mentioned that 20 minutes into spirit, compared to before, it takes an hour or more to meet the spirit. How do you sense the change in the session or around us in this physical world?
I have been thinking about this a bit. I know that obviously things are changing in our life, and socially, civilization-wise, nationally, internationally, cosmically, things are changing. It seems like, more and more we're kind of careening toward a brick wall in terms of what's happening with climate change, what's happening with politics, and we won't go there at all tonight in talking about that. But there's so much going on in the world and in the universe. Who knows what's going to happen next anyway. So I think that has an element of effect on what's happened. But there's something else that I've been kind of aware of, and it's not to sound egotistical at all, but I do feel like the more that we verse ourselves in the experience of helping a client to go from a waking state into awake awareness state, to experiencing past life, this life, soul life. The more we do this, the more we work with this, the more the client comes sensing on a soul level, I believe, the great opportunity to work with us, the great opportunity that the accumulation of experience we have as facilitators. I believe that we bring to the session something more than just that we're there and facilitating. Our soul awareness has just gotten stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that is something that allows for their soul awareness to gain strength and to experience. So if somebody slips right into spirit from the first childhood memory that we usually take in our life between lives practice, after induction and going into a sphere of light, going back into go to a happy childhood, and they go there and only there for a brief second before they be like, oh, and I can feel the light. I know where I came from in order to be in this moment, and I just feel so much oneness with the light, And so what do? We don't. Oh, wait a minute. That's not how we do this. That's not on script here. we go with it. We enjoy it. Oh, great. Let's go. Let's enjoy it. So I think, again, there's the detail of time, that what's going on in the world, all the intensities of what's going on in the world, and then there's also what we're bringing to the session for our clients. The clients are receiving the benefit of our versatility, our prowess within connecting into all the memories that we are, and our own personal. When you go, when I go into a session, and which needs to happen more often. I haven't had a session since 2021, so it's not that far away. But I know in other facilitators that haven't had a session of their own. I mean, their own personal session for 4 or 5 years now. It's important. It's vital that we experience ourselves. I mean, every time I've gone in, there's 7 or so personal sessions, something incredibly new comes, something important comes up. Another facet, all that I am. Can't help but that come and be part of sessions you have with clients. Clients receive that benefit of your experiences and your awakeness in your experience. You know what I mean?
That's so true. I personally received 14 sessions altogether, past life, life to life, quantum healing. That's all happened before 20.
Before.
I think last year I might receive my last session with one of the LBL facilitator for my LBL session. Mm-hmm. So I started with past life, and I just wanted to know. That was purely about relationship, about romance. and now I care less. I mean, I care, but I don't need to say that I'm attached. If it happens, great. But these days I'm just so free, so blessed. I hear what you're saying. That I see this session is an upgrade.
Yeah.
And continuously downloading, and so that we can serve better And these days, what we download is so, profound. It is
Yeah.
beyond human mind comprehension, if I dare to say, without egoistic. We are truly blessed to be in this body, to have this sort of wonderful experiences. I mean, we all experience, different struggle, different hard time, but we can quickly come back to equilibrium, balanced. We can
Yeah.
merge the spiritual energy, downloading consciousness into the physical life and make it a wonderful living.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that is so important for us, for whoever that's coming to us.
It's true. It is that element of enlightenment. That's what this is. The more we are awake and aware of all that we are, that is really what enlightenment is all about.
And so, do you see LBL plays a role in facilitating enlightenment?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What that's what is the juice for me, because not my enlightenment alone, but it affects others. It affects your clients. Your clients are more enlightened about all that they are, and they're more embodied enlightenment. They're bringing enlightenment into their body, into their awareness. When you don't know who you are, you don't know what's going on. It's a confusing, it's exasperating. But when you feel confident about what's happening, and you feel clear about what's happening, you're in your power. You're in the light. It's as simple as my friend who passed away last week. Before I got there, her partner was kind of at wit's end. He was really upset because she was. He said that she was bad. She was talking nonsense. I said, okay. But after I told her that it's going to be okay, you're going to be all right. Things are going to be just fine. Just go with it. Trust. Everything's going to be all right. It just changed for her. And I wasn't trying to or thinking that was the best thing I could say to her, that I could give to her at the time. It's just that it's going to be all right. Trust what happens. Trust you'll be fine. And it changed everything for her. And I'm happy it did. I'm not trying to find any accolades for that. Oh, good job, really. I'm not too worried about that. But if I can serve, if I can help, that's marvelous.
Yes, that sentence, what you just said to your friend, it's going to be okay. It's a very prominent sentence and a very common and downloading from the spirit, from guide.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody needs to hear it from time to time.
Yeah.
Even for
I think
us.
so. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to be reminded, yeah, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Trust what comes, and everything's going to be okay.
And I love that you actually just highlighted the core of an LBL session, life between life therapy session. How can it facilitate people's transitioning, awakening from not knowing, confused, lost, sad, this experience, this inner turmoil that needs healing, needs comfort, needs guidance, need wisdom, need love, need light to just brighten their path.
Yes. And the wonderful thing is that, again, this is not some sort of intellectual, floating around up here in the head. It's what you feel right here in the heart. And it's a very visceral experience, a very clear feeling. And the thing that we both noticed, Apple, you and I, is that it stays with clients. It's not like, you have it, oh, where'd it go? It stays. It's almost like, you've eaten just a really great meal and you feel it, for the next several hours at least. But with it, a really lovely Life Between Lives session, it stays for weeks, months, years. My first session back in 2011, I still remember the details very clearly. Maybe not all of them all the time, but the prominent ones, absolutely. They haven't ever left state. And they're guiding all the way, all the time. It's just something about the nature of this work. It's incredibly effective and helpful, amazingly helpful. It's guiding and moving us forward in a satisfying and an easeful kind of way. Makes us feel like it.
How did it change you as a person?
It's not so much, I think, a change. I think I was like this before I began the process of having session and training, but it's more being awake to also and appreciating those things, and then also appreciating, there's a reasons I'm, embody this life. Not just um, here to, I'm here to help others, but I'm also here just to, I think areas of my character need attention, and it's important to have discernment, as you said, uh, discernment on those things that this would be good to put attention on. This would be good to mold in a different direction than what I've done in the past. And this has come through my own personal sessions, but also things that have been kind of clicked away from working with others who have maybe similar frameworks of mind, points in their awareness that they're kind of locked in on, how to unlock that, how to let go of things that really don't serve and hinder, hold back, or at least just don't move us ahead. It's often it's a cosmic play, and we're invited to join it. Gosh, it's great to have this dance, this play. It's cosmic. It's fulfilling. It's what we're here for. Good to join in and do it.
It's a great cosmic play, and that we need to pay attention with. I like how you put it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fun game. Just go have fun.
Yeah.
The physical body might choose some different or difficult emotions. So for the human mind to say, but it's just play.
It is play, and the human perspective on that is that it's oh, I've got to change this. I've got to do this. Oh gosh, all these things in the way. But from a soul perspective, from a cosmic perspective, this is the play. It's a game. Yeah, let's work. Let's mold this. Expand this. Let's shrink this. All these things are what we're here to do, and the best thing is to do it. And if there's things that get in the way for us to do it, such as not putting attention on this kind of growth, or dumbing it down, tamping it down with alcohol and drugs, then there's no holy judgment. Oh, you've done a bad thing. No, I just you'll have to do it again or later. You'll have to take this into future work, future lives. Maybe here, maybe some other place, other planet.
With that understanding, where does your energy go at the moment? As in, what are you focusing on? Do you have any specific interest area that you work on, you research on, you train people on?
Well, there's an overriding experience I have in this life, some of which would be good to explore in a session, my own personal session. But so long story short, I came into this life knowing from a session that I came in a soul contract with my mother. My mother having been born in that generation, which was many generations and still is to some degree today, where she grew up very privileged and enjoying life. Had a really lovely upbringing. Wonderful father, warm-hearted father, a pleasant mother. She was the eldest in the family. And as she grew up, she felt pretty much that she was the pearl and the world is her oyster. But then when she got married in 1941 at the outbreak of World War II, all hell broke loose for her, and she found herself stuck in a domestic role. This is a woman who was brilliant, valedictorian of a prominent women's college in Washington, D.C., and was sharp, so brilliant, amazingly brilliant. But she's caught in a domestic role, and one time she wrote to her brother, who was in the armed forces in the war, and she's saying that she's so tired of all the dishes, diapers, and doo-doo that she had to deal with, and was kind of unhappy about that. And when I came along in 1952, there was a clear experience that I had that I came in here ahead of the time with a contract with her to just help take care of her, help her to kind of weather the loss of just not being able to pursue all that she felt like she could do and wanted to do. And throughout my life, I feel like that's been a real kind of motivating experience, which is helping women, serving in a way. Our family life was, I had 4 older sisters and a younger sister, and there was me, my mom, and my dad was away a lot. So I'm very comfortable around strong women. It's just really easy to be around strong women. And even today, like my life with my partner, my wife, Dawn, is one that I do a lot of work to help to make sure she's fed and clothed and everything that needs to be going along that way. So there's a soul contract there, and the reason I bring this up is that being in touch with the things that we feel are prominent in our awareness, being staying on course with the things that we feel like we're here to do. That is something that I feel like this work brings. It helps each of us get in touch with the important factors of why we chose this life, why we're here now. And I know that when it came along, when the time came along to do this work, to study hypnotherapy, to learn how to do past life regression, and then life between lives. This was just a perfect opportunity to really pursue that, to work with understanding my life, being here, and what I could do to help others, as well as those things that I came here to do just to improve me. And before this work of being a Life Between Lives facilitator, I, for 16 years, was a certified organic inspector, traveling the world. I never made it down to the down under countries, but I did go to the Philippines, India, China, Japan, then South America, and a lot in the U.S. And as an inspector, you think of somebody who's being, kind of up and to the point. That was never my style. Everybody thought I was kind of a pushover in a way, but it was a kind of like a Columbo. Columbo is this inspector TV show back in the 70s, and he was kind of like, played the dumb guy, like, well, just wondering why you thought this. As an inspector, I had a lot of compassion for people, even the people I was inspecting, thinking, hey, Most people are doing things because they want to do things. They want to do it right. They want to have some pride in what they're doing. And most people are not trying to be nefarious. What can I get away with, And I kind of recognized that when I saw people in the work as an organic inspector. And I remember one time a client said to me, he said, Billy, you have a lot of compassion for people. You have a lot of compassion for this, what you're doing. I mean, how come? I mean, you're an inspector. You should be a little more kind of, reading the rules, okay, you shall not do this. You can do this. And I said, well, I'm able to do that. But I don't find it really easy to work with people and be uncompassionate. Because if you're compassionate, people tend to trust you better. Not that I'm trying to manipulate it, but just that I'd rather get to the heart of a situation, respect people, have compassion. And then typically what happens is things come out. People show what they're doing. And because they trust you, they don't think that you're judging. So all the 16 years of travel all around the world to do that work, and then this came along, Life Between Lives, and it was like, oh, this is perfect. This is just what I really, really got to do. Helping people help themselves. And it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to have a session. It's a great opportunity to be able to get it, to help those. That really is what is a spark for me.
Compassion.
What makes it work for me? Yeah, compassion, and really wanting to see people become all that they can be. That they can expand and be sentient and awake and aware as much as possible, as much as they want, as much as they can.
Thank you so much, Billy, for sharing your intimate family story, your divine wisdom, and LBL stories. Is there any message, any gift that you wanted to share with the audience today? Final one.
It really comes down to just know that everything's going to be okay. And to go out and to expand. Go out and find out all that you are. Enjoy the journey. Everything's going to be okay no matter what. Even if you fall flat on your face, it's going to be okay. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. Trust that you're on a sacred journey. Each of us is a sacred holy temple. And we have so much that we're bringing to this world. Let them feel that and let yourself become aware of all that you are. Whatever you can do to become more expanded, more connected to your awareness, to know all that you are. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's what we're taking home to spirit after we're done here.
Yes, we're here to serve the spirit, we're here to serve humans, serve our community, but in essence, we're here to serve God, should I say, if this word might be appropriate or relevant to some, but it's the pure consciousness that we are here to work with. So I wanted to really truly sending my gratitude for your time, for accepting my interview and sharing the light come from within, from you.
I'm so honored to have been asked by you, Apple. It's so sweet. And you're doing marvelous, marvelous work. And you radiate just like the lotus that's behind you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your sharing. And we just one. We're in different body. When I see my clients, I say we're the same. There's no one who's superior than the other. Absolutely, we're equal here. There's no judgment.
No.
Except.
Right.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you too, Apple. So nice to connect with you. And enjoy the rest of your day. I'm about to go to bed.
Well, sleeping is good. deep sleeping state is the enlightenment state. It's where the body goes to receive healing and unwind
Yeah.
right now. And now I love my body. Well, now I just go to dream and sleep, so chill, easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you. Great to connect with you. This has been real joyful for me.
Everybody on the other side of the camera, they're just
Yeah.
bright light and
Yeah.
vibration, reminding me how great job that we're doing in different body and how
Hmm.
fortunate we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something I think about a lot. It's like, you're feeling this, I'm feeling this, and it's this thing of, gosh, how come we're following these things? Why? What is it about us that's given us this great opportunity, this great fortune to have a more expanded awareness and being really, really insightful and thinking about others, helping others? I mean, I'm not really too concerned about what next car I'm going to drive or how I'm looking, or maybe I should just maybe take some Botox on them. And all that stuff is like,
Some
so silly.
Botox.
It's all so silly. It's really not necessary. And the more that we connect with others, as we're connecting you and I right now, this
Yeah,
is what we're going to do. This is what's so important
yeah.
and great pleasure.
It's so beautiful. Like I don't concern anything at all. And at the beginning, I was working so hard and trying to promote myself. And then, well, there's a transformation, the transition happened, and then clients come itself. I'm not thinking,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
I'm so blessed. I don't have to work for my business anymore. When I realized
No,
that, and I truly just be, and I really
yeah.
thankful. I'm thankful for the universe for what has been happened, and I wish we can
No.
bring this energy to all our audience or every sentient beings feeling the same way as how we feel.
It's a very vital thing for us to do, and it's like taking part in the program. Taking part, being involved, and being here now. Thank you for the time today. Thank you for asking me. I feel real honored.
Thank you.
I feel real
Just
blessed by
even the body
the
doing the
connection.
same thing, and
Yeah.
yeah, equivalent appreciation. Now go enjoy your evening, enjoy your sleeping.
Yeah. So sweet to connect with you. So
Likewise,
enjoy.
I will. Thank you. To the audience, thank you for watching today. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode.